So yesterday I mentioned I'm rethinking how our garden is going. Originally, at the beginning of this season, we were planning on having this whole area be our garden. This area was going to be the patch, and that front area is our beds. However, the weeds quickly took over with having 2 kiddos and Justin working and me working outside the home, and the fact that we were working jobs that were not on the same schedule. Pardon me. And we were essentially single parenting when the other one was away at work. We have struggled with the garden this year. And then on top of that, we've had a lot of rain to the point that it's been soaked and we hadn't been able to get into the garden. And so the weeds literally took over. So what I had to do yesterday was mow in the garden, even as you see in the garden bed, because there was just so much grass and it was all this tall. So up to, my knee minimum, but some of it up to my thigh or higher, up to my hip or higher. And then of course careless weed gets really tall. And so, for my safety and Malachi's safety, because I was concerned about snakes, I went ahead and just mowed. And it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit because, I realized that I had failed to the point that it needed that kind of an extreme measure. But I got to give myself grace because life happens. And so, I feel good, all in all, because now I can at least see where to start for weeding and such. Whoop! Now I have been harvesting a few things. We were able to harvest some of the winter greens and such, and then I've harvested some tomatoes, but I haven't harvested a whole lot because really it's just now starting to come in. And these tomatoes are really neat. They've got purple shoulders, and then when they get bigger, or when they get mature, they turn red. But look, we've got leaf-footed bugs, which is not good for tomatoes. And this one has been covered in adults and the orange juveniles. And see, they just make a mess of the tomatoes. And I know I'm sacrificing some tomatoes to do this, but I'd rather sacrifice a few tomatoes now than to have a humongous problem later, because I haven't found anything for, an organic control of these other than manual squishing. Look at that. On that one, and there were multiple. And I have to go quick because if I hesitate, I get freaked out because the adults look kind of scary, but they really don't hurt you. They can't sting from what I understand. And so you just got to go for it. But they smell just very similar to squash bugs. In fact, I think they're related to squash bugs. Anyway, just means tomatoes are going to be like that again this year. Way to get that grasshopper, Chicky. So I had done some weeding before I did the mowing. A few days ago I did some weeding over here in what was, no, it still is, but it doesn't look like it, the garlic bed. Sorry, I've got to move this pole to be able to move the next pole over some. Alright, let's try that again. Whew, sorry, not trying to make you dizzy there. And so, as you can see, there's a few less weeds right there. But I quickly realized that this is so weed infested, it's hard to tell weeds from garlic. Like, I have to look closely to see the difference in the scapes, or not scapes, the garlic leaves versus the grass leaves. So that's going to be an undertaking, just getting that done. But at least with having the pathway mode, I have some place to sit and do that. And I've got boundaries. Oh, but look, oh, it bloomed. This is the Monarda Bee Balm. It's got a nice spicy scent, and this is the biggest it's been, because as you see, we've got this, that blooming, those down here, over here, and over there. So this bee balm, and there, is 2 years old, maybe 3, and it's finally starting to come into good production. It's never been that big, so that's exciting. And of course, we got volunteer okra coming up all over the place. Okra blossom with a grasshopper in there. Oops, I missed it. And then here is the big, gigantic heirloom elephant garlic that I got from my parents amid the weeds. There it is. But the interesting thing is, this has withstood a lot better. Like, nothing has taken this over, whereas over there, that did get taken over. So I'm not sure if it's just a difference in the beds, or if this particular garlic, but maybe because it's bigger, is able to, you know, hold its own against the weeds. Now, I don't know if you just saw that, but that chicken just hopped over and was literally in the garden. Now, I realize it means I'm going to lose some of those yellow pear tomatoes, but honestly, right now, the bugs in the garden are such that I'm okay with letting the chickens in, especially since we don't have a whole lot to harvest right now. The okra, I'm not worried about with the chickens. Actually, we lose more of that to ants than to chickens. The beans, I don't think have yet set. The cowpeas. Oh, well, did I say that? Then there's one. But I don't really anticipate the chickens getting to many of those. And so I think our main thing right now is going to be the tomatoes that the chickens may eat. But again, I'll sacrifice a few of those now for the betterment of the health of the garden later on. And this is an interesting tomato that we got from Roots and Refuge Farms at the Shindig. I think this is a lacy tomato, if I remember that right. And then here are the Egyptian walking onions that we planted in a video. And as you see, we've already got some bulbils or bulblets coming up. So those will probably be walking soon. This one looks like it's already trying to start walking. It's already kind of leaning over. But the ones that we planted over there don't seem to be coming up. Looks like the weeds overtook them. Plus, those came from China and they were already looking kind of sad when we got them. But we just keep on trying. We've got a little cantaloupe going up the trellis there. And I've had to train it. It's been wanting to go everywhere but the trellis. And I'm like, no, I want you to go up the trellis. Let's go ahead and harvest a couple of yellow pear tomatoes. Tomatoes! They do better when they ripen on the plant. We just have trouble, like I showed you, with the leaf-footed bugs. And if we leave them too long, they won't be worth harvesting. But those are good. That's a nice color. Hey Golden, what you doing, big boy? Coming to say hi? Golden's feathers keep coming in. They're growing slow, but at least he's starting to get a covered back end again. And that's good. We tried to sell 5 of the puppies. Well, we've been trying to sell 5 of the puppies. And then we offered them for $30. We took them up to the feed store because they said, sure, we'll help you out. Just set up and you can try. So yesterday morning from about, well, actually we got there around 8:15 to a little after noon, we were trying to sell them, but weren't able to sell a single one, even at $30. So we're going to try again in 2 weeks. Maybe go down to $20, and if that doesn't work, we'll try to give them away for free. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why Craigslist kept blocking us. It's been really, really frustrating because they're great pups. They look nice. They're friendly. Not to chickens, but they're friendly to us and to kids. But it's been interesting. Anywho, I'll end with a little bit of chicken fun. Y'all have a blessed day.